Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking to Justice of Peace Zafar Uddin about Millsborough and the demography of the area. Sir, you've been there for a long time. What is the proportion of the Bangladeshis, the Somalians, the West Indians, the English, the Pakistanis, and others, you see?
Overall, in Middlesbrough, I believe it is, I haven't got the really up-to-date one, but I believe it's about 140,000 people overall in Middlesbrough itself. Then within that, I think from the BME communities, it will be around 25,000.
Yes, as you said that we rightly that we are a minority within the minorities.
Within the minority. So within that, obviously, minorities 25,000.
Right.
And we have Bangladeshis say overall around 700 to 1,000.
700 to
700,000 people. Yeah. It's a mix, obviously, the Bengali, and we have like the Muslim, Hindus, and so on. Yeah.
Now, going back to the organization. Mao, Shishu, and Mosam.
Mosam, yeah.
Well, to translate is mother and child development.
That's right, yeah.
Is it a private initiative or?
It is a charity organization, organized by private, obviously, I mean, obviously, we, as the community, yeah. I think before that, if I can just go back slightly, when I first came in this country, that's how my community work started.
Right.
And I've seen my dad helping people out, writing letters, reading letters from the back home, then any letter they got from the council and things like that. And I used to see him Saturday and Sunday, people come in, sitting in the passage, like
he was doing his surgery.
Surgery, yeah. And I said to my dad, like first week, I said, Dad, what's this? I know you work during the day, but the weekend, what's this? Oh, Dad says, oh, Zafar, you don't understand. Some people here, older generation, obviously, they have problem in reading and writing, and with English,
Right.
So as we can read and write in some extent, we need to support them.
Sure.
So we support them, and the people do come. I mean, not only me, I do here in this area, there are other people as well in different areas, So I thought, oh, that's fantastic, So I just said, is it free of service? Do you get paid for it? That says, well, money is not everything. And I've learned that from my dad, at that time. So in 77, when Dad was going home for a holiday, a few weeks holiday, and he called me one day, he says to me, Zafar, would you do me a favor? And I said, what that? Well, you don't have to like that. Just tell me what I need to do. He says, no, you've seen me obviously helping people out, doing things for the people, in between my work and everything. And I would like you to take over for a while I'm away, if you can do that for me. And believe me, my heart was going like this. I said, but Dad, you've done all this work. Do you expect me to do this all? So whatever you can. Obviously, you're not, illiterate. You're studying. You are a student. You've been a student there. You're studying here. You are, So I'm sure you'll manage.
You can manage.
Okay. You can manage. Yes. So that's why I'm asking you. So I said, well, that's fine. Thank you. I'll try if you tell me. Then he says to me one thing. Say, I know you sometimes can be a bit short-tempered. Because obviously I said, no, Dad, I don't think so. I said, well, that's fine. If you don't think so, I don't think so. But when the people come in here with some needs, and like with the letters and letter from the solicitor, letter from council, they don't know what's in it. So they will think it's their problem. So you might see them coming in, but you probably walked in from the school, college, coming in, or your work, and you'll be tired, and you might not like it. So please take it easy. If you can't help them at that point, just tell them, say, uncle or brother, please come later. Leave me it. I'll have a look at it. I'll see to it. Then I'll give you a shout, or you can come back tomorrow, something like that.
Very good advice.
Very good advice, and believe me, from then it started. So I said to Dad, well, I know, I think it is, in principle, it's very good work, yeah. But what do we get time? Oh, well, in between you can do it. I'm sure you can, that's it. I said, okay, I'll try.
That was the beginning of your social work.
That's the beginning of my community work, social work, and wherever I go, I say that as well.
Good training.
Good training, actually, yes. And obviously I'm inspired by my dad. And my mom used to do quite a lot of work as well within her, surroundings,
Right.
So, yeah, it's in the blood, obviously. So I carried on from there on, and here we are. Today I'm here. We've got about 40 odd.
I detect a bit of the Teesside accent, blood.
Suddenly, yeah, 42 years, Mr. Neaz, 42
It's
years.
in my blood.
In the area, you know, so it is in my blood, yeah.
Yes.
And Middlesbrough is my town. And Middlesbrough is my home now. And I say it, you know, whenever, you know, I mean,
Of
I get
course,
interviewed
of
by
course.
different journalists or the papers, local papers and things like that, because of the other
We are
involvement.
here. This is our
Yeah,
home.
That's right. This is my home. And I'm a British Bangladeshi, and Middlesbrough is my home now.
True. Now,
So-
getting back to this mother and child development,
Yeah,
what sort of work is involved?
Yeah, that's what happened. Initially, again, that's the chair of the Islamic Association at the first term.
Right.
And myself and our another colleague died, and a few others, younger colleagues with us. And we started a school within a local primary school, doing it as a, like up to school, an hour or an hour and a half. maximum
Or
2
on
hours.
weekends?
No, it's weekdays up to school. Then obviously a bit too much for the children, but we managed and we okay. With a bit of break and so on. And we did it between 93 to 99 and under multicultural education. It was like Somalian, Pakistani, Indian, Bangladeshi, all together. Now, I'll come to your demography as well in a minute. Yeah? And all together, it was multicultural association. It was fantastic work. What we did, all the different groups, different countries, because children are born here, they don't speak their own language. We noticed that, and we found that out. So we thought, try to give them some lesson, education. So that's what we did. Then what happened in 99, but before that, again, what we did, we put them children through GCSEs as well at the time, because GCSEs, Urdu, Hindi, Bengali, and Arabic, I understand, as like mainstream subject. If you go GCSE, you got 9, that comes 1 with 10.
Then it became possible to take GCSE in these languages.
In the languages, yes, yeah. So then obviously we had to stop because of the funding cut within, I mean, at the time we were supported by the local authorities.
Right.
Then after a gap, in 2003, 2004 rather, one of my good friend, good colleague in the community, lady, she started again. So well, we know we did it before and it was good works. Why not continue it if we can? Ourselves, if we don't get the money, I'm sure people could contribute, towards it. So she started, this lady, in her own house with 4 or 5 children. This surroundings.
They were just teaching the
Teaching
native
them
language.
Bengali, listen, Bengali culture and Bengali. From that on, actually, from 2004, carried on, it's going on up to now. One point we had about 45 children. Then from the house, obviously, we moved into the community center. Initially, we had the small one, then we went to a bigger one. And currently, we are in quite, reasonably accommodation.
Right.
And we have the committee at the management, Mosums is a mother and Mao Shishu Unnayan, Middlesbrough, which is the mother and baby development. And the committee is excellent. Honestly,
That
all
sounds
mothers,
like a postnatal, antenatal dispensary. Mao Shishu.
Mao Shishu, it is. It sounds obviously it's a language as well, in the mother language, it's quite important. It's our identity, our children's identity. They do need to speak, they speak the fluent English, but they're not fluent in their own language. So this lady identified this, therefore everybody got together and worked, and the committee, she had a committee, then we actually constituted a body. And I chaired for 3 years. 1 year I was vice chair.
Who taught them?
Sorry?
Who taught
Well,
them?
we had the people actually educated from Bangladesh, and they are studying here as well, and some of them. And we have we had absolutely proper procedures and everything with all these child protection and health aspects and all sorts and everything, making sure everything in place for the children, legalities and so on.
But were there similar programs for other communities too?
There are the other communities, like some of them did from, like I said, before 99, and some of them continued, and some of them died down because they couldn't continue. But because of our community and because of this young lady and surroundings and her friends and everybody together, and mainly, and worked so well. And I got involved, obviously, at one point. Then they said, first year I was just a member for a few months. Then they made me vice chair. Then after that, because obviously, as I said, when Dad taught me all this, when I take things and I like to do it. I like to do it properly, and I do it. And my community know it, and they support me. In fact, without this support, without their support, I couldn't have done it. So I was chair. before me, there was other chairs. The lady found a lady chair. Currently, the founder of the project is currently chairing as well, because we take alternative, so give everybody chances, And that, in the last few years, what we did as well, we sat the GCSE for the children. 1 year, first year, I think we did. I can't remember the exact year. That's, I think, one before my time, then again with my time as a chair. I think we had 5 children, yes, 7 children start GCSE, 6 of them got A-star, which is
Great.
unbelievable.
Great.
And again, it's all because of the parents' support, our parents, our community, everybody worked together. Then after I given up, then obviously the new chair took over,
Right.
again, this lady, and same thing continuing. So, and children are learning.
This
the
is still
languages.
on?
It's still on, yes.
Mhm.
It's still ongoing. And obviously, because of the demography, you know, so it comes on and off, you know. so
Well, you said something about also the cultural programs. What sort of cultural
yeah, we do
programs?
cultural, you know, that's what we do as well. There's another project we run, well, it's another association, which is the Tees Valley Bangladeshi Association.
Mhm.
Used to be, it's called Bangladesh Muslim Welfare Association,
Mhm.
which I took over chair from, actually one of the gentlemen moved area.
Mhm.
Prior to that, my dad was the chair, and another gentleman was the secretary, but obviously they gone.
Now,
then
it runs in the family.
that's right, running the family. I took the chair, and one of my colleagues, now currently barrister,
Right.
he took the secretaryship. At the time, he was studying. He
Mhm.
took the secretaryship. So we run it for until 2004 again, and we did everything we could for the community. This is basically, as I said earlier on, we, being a minority within minority, we often struggle with the different opportunities. So what we do is we come all together, and again, it's not my own work. It's everybody's collectively, everyone together. But obviously, sometimes you do need the leadership, you know. And we had some of this leader, like I said, 3 of them initially when they found these projects. Everybody worked together and made it successful. And I said about 3 times now, the children, I think total, first year 7, second year we had 6, third year we had 5. So all of them in 3 different years, I think each year one got A, rest of them got the A-star in Bengali GCSE.
Which changing the topic slightly, see.
Yeah,
What
go on.
is the economic condition of our own community in that Teesside area?
With the
You just said
economic-
that because of the closure of these factories and all that,
Yeah.
see.
Obviously, I think people now gone into the more or less on self-employment. As you know, I think our Bangladeshi community sort of concentrated on highly on the restaurant,
Mhm.
catering businesses, and huge people are there, obviously, and they're running the catering businesses.
Mhm.
They are successful businesses. In fact, there's a lot of these people from the catering side contributing towards all these projects and so on, especially our Islamic societies, and the people contributing as much as 5 to 10,000 from pound, 5, 10 pound to up to 10,000 pound people contributing to make it success.
How is the catering industry doing there? Because I understand it's in problems. So
At
all
the
over.
moment, in many ways, it's not only just the Middlesbrough, obviously, as you know, the London, obviously.
Yeah.
One time I think with the 700 so many restaurants where I can't really remember the exact figure, and there's so many Bangladeshi restaurants. We call most time, you know, Indian restaurant because people, I think,
Yeah.
in that term, recognize as an Indian, like Indian subcontinent, Indian
Right,
restaurant.
yes.
So yeah, and with that, because of the decline in some extent, and again, this is some extent again, I will hold the government responsible for that as well.
Obviously, because if we have not trained people to become chefs, you see, and the older chefs are retiring,
Retiring and getting old.
and the children of the owners of the restaurant, they're not going into that profession at all, as you see.
Currently, no, and yeah, unfortunately, that's again. I mean, obviously, people want to move on, and children want to move on. But that leads me to say as well one thing, Mr. Neaz. In our community, all the small community, 700 to 1,000 people there, and we have in our group, in our sort of communities, 3, 4 different organizations there, and we have solicitors, we have teachers, we have accountant, we have barristers, we have magistrates, we have counselors, and it is fantastic. 30 years ago, we couldn't even think about it.
True.
So now it's all because of our community involvement, and the people are quite, you know, conscious about, you know, this, and our younger generation, as you said rightly, and more or less they're looking into higher education and so on, and they're doing fantastic. As I said, my secretary of to the group, his son is a barrister. They qualified the same year. My dad and son both a barrister. So they're doing a fantastic job. And again, my others, you know, doctors and so on. You know, people used to go into sort of catering business. Now I think because of that as well, and some, you know, decline in
We
sort
also
of
have to
that
change the
business.
perceptions, because this conception of sit-down dinners and all that in the days of takeaway, that has got to change. Of course,
Certainly, yeah,
now is the time for take another break, short break. So
Certainly, thank you. Yeah.
don't go away. We'll be back soon after this very short break. Thank you.